So I started training Jiu-Jitsu at 12 years old, and we were introduced to Jiu-Jitsu through my cousin. We started competing in the first couple months of training. I remember being a white belt, going to competitions, wearing a yellow belt, having that good result right in the beginning, winning the first couple competitions and getting people to praise us and say that we were doing a good job, that we should continue to go. We started to believe that we could be champions in the sport. I just remember like the beginning being super fun, like we going there and mostly like hanging out with everybody. We were the only kids in the academy. Jiu-Jitsu came as a safe place for us to have friends, to be around good people. We were living with my mom at the time, and then my mom was working full-time. There were barely like kids competing in Jiu-Jitsu at the time. It was always against somebody that was either older or heavier. Like we were skinny, like small and younger than everybody in the group, and very young for Jiu-Jitsu at that time.
We were training in Ibirapuera. Our comp classes were there back in the day. Professor Ramon Lemos brought Rafa, and Rafa was a blue belt, super skinny, small guy, and blonde hair, right?
The Brazilian trials was always the hardest in Jiu-Jitsu for a very long time. Nobody was expecting us to win. We were too young and too not experienced enough to do well. You would have multiple-time black belt world champions competing to get to ADCC. It's placed like once every 2 years. We were super young, like 16, 17 purple belts. The media started noticing us when we were purple belts. We were 16 and 17 years old. It was the first time that we were in the magazine. I remember like opening the magazine and seeing like the magazine talking about us and like giving us credit for that performance. We were about like 16 years old, like 15, 16, competing in the adult division, which was allowed at that time, 2006. Imagine like a Gui brand that puts in the magazine, and you can put like any athlete that you sponsor, and they chose to put like 2 brown belts in the magazine. Like, at this time, you can see like the Guis are much cleaner now. Like we had like a real sponsors. Like you can see the Ruka patch on our Gui. Another very, very important moment for us. Like we're like about 17 years old here too. That was like the first time the Worlds was held in California at the Pyramid. Whenever Worlds was moved to the United States, was like bad for us because we didn't have our visa or the money for their ticket. I remember like just talking to my brother and being super worried about it and like thinking like how can we find a way to make it happen and compete.
Once I started learning more and hang out with them, I noticed that they have something special, right?
There was one person in the academy that was a businessman. He could not train a lot. He saw like our struggle because like we wanted to compete. We had so much potential, but like we could not afford the air tickets or the visa. And he made an offer where we would teach him a full year of private lessons, and he would pay for everything. He would pay for the air ticket, he would pay for the visa, and he would pay for the hotel. For us at that time was like the best deal that could ever happen to us. And another incredible thing happened right when we got here because we were training in a small academy in California. And I remember after training, we stayed like for like a half hour like on the mat. And I remember one guy coming to us and introducing us to Pat Tenori.
Where do I look? Where do you want me looking? There or there or there?
The guy was like translating and saying like, this is a black belt, like he trains here with us and he wants to invite you guys to go there and visit his company.
The transition of seeing them as young kids with a dream to competitors, world champions, to giving back to the community and being senseis, how else can you put that in one capsule?
That was like the first time that we got like a real like sponsorship where people were like giving us something because they saw our work and like our dedication. So it felt really good at the time. It was like such a special moment for us.
They were very focused on becoming world champions, and you know they believed in it and they achieved it many times over.
Was around that time that I remember like Pat telling us that his dream was to have a high-level jiu-jitsu facility in the city where he lives. We made like a deal where we would wait until we became black belt world champions, and then we would move to the United States and open an academy. We had a training partner, Bruno Frazado, that he was sponsored by Bull Terrier, which was a brand it's from Japan. If you guys look at the videos, like when we were competing as a purple belt, we were wearing the Bull Terrier patch. We didn't have anything from Bull Terrier, we only got the patch from our training partner. And when he sent the photo to the Bull Terrier owner, the Bull Terrier owner invited us to go to compete in Japan. It was like a super match style. It was in a ring, which was like crazy for us. We were both competing against local black belts too. We were still purple belts at the time. We were competing with the Bull Terrier rash guard and the Ruka shorts. We went back to Brazil. The next year we would compete everything as brown belt. We were able to win everything as a brown belt. We got our black belts.
Right when Rafa got his black belt, he was already like doing incredible. Not only him, but also giving this to like both of them, like winning everything and showcase a beautiful jiu-jitsu, and they became super special.
I remember the day that we start talking about the academy in a more serious way and like trying to put it on paper. The main idea since the first day of the academy was to make that place special. It was so special for us just to look to a building like that and say like we're gonna have an academy like inside of this place. Every step of the way was like one step closer to achieving our dream of having an academy and starting a new phase of our career. In the very beginning, I remember like the goal was to focus in the kids program. because we knew that the kids program would be the foundational work of the academy. When we announced that we were going to open the academy, every kid that was like a yellow belt or orange belt, they were coming and signing up, and slowly we were building like a very strong kids team.
They learn exactly the same thing that we teach for the advanced class. So we play ball on top, takedowns, everything. Like we make them ready for the competitions.
Then later on, we had people like Jessa, Tynan, Jonathan, all like winning the color belts, and then eventually like Tynan became like the first black belt world champion that was a product of our kids program. He started there in the kids program and then went to juvenile, adult, and I was able to guide him from the kids division all the way to now multiple times like the world champion.
Professor Gui taught me a lot off the mats, taught me how to think, how to make right decisions that would eventually reflect on my career. I feel like that was the beginning of the growth that we had at the black belt division. Just being the very first one, I felt like I laid the path for the next ones to come. Many people were doubting about the work. They were questioning if AOJ was a serious team or was just a kids competition team. And that was proof of the work that Professor Gui has done with me over the years. And I believe that big part of my success I owe to him, because from the very first day he was very careful with me, and he've always showed a lot of love and care for me. So it's definitely a special relationship.
The goal for AOJ is to do that to every single person, regardless of who they are, if they're going to become a black belt world champion or not. The main goal is to present uncomfortable scenarios and teach them how to deal with it. If you stay there long enough and you're present in the environment, it will impact you to have a higher standard for your life. On the mat, off the mat, the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself to the world. And this is what will end up creating champions. All our champions, like in the adult division, they're not only competitors and they're not only reference and champions in the sport, but they're also leaders, and they're people that are already giving back to the community and building the next generation to make sure that AOJ will always have a batch of people that are willing to go through the process and represent the academy at the highest level. I feel that both of us, me and Rafa, we were lucky enough to have each other. We were always pushing each other. We were always challenging each other since a very young age. It was always like, who's gonna do it better? Who's gonna do it first? Who got the job done in a way where it was more impressive? That will be your first reference, will be someone that I feel like we want to see you succeed, and we'll try to give you the best information that they can give. He was always excellent on the mat, always the best in the group every step of the way. I never remember him being the second person or the third person in the group. Was always the main attraction. Living with that type of presence and absorbing that and understanding that type of mindset always put everyone in a stage where they had to perform.
It's almost like I would compare it to training, if you're a basketball player, practicing with Michael Jordan. I mean, here you have the two best jiu-jitsu competitors in the world.
If you're on the mat and that type of person is there, you have no other option. You're gonna have to do your best. That was something that was important for me, that rush to try to close the gap at any cost pushed me to become the best in my division. I knew that it doesn't matter how good the guys in my division were, they were not as good as Rafa. If I set my goal to be chasing him and like getting as close as I can get, like I knew the competition would not be a huge challenge. His style was always different. It was something that was very impactful for that generation and continues to impact every generation that came after us.
It's a unique style that became a style for everyone. A style that everyone was inspired, and it changed a lot. He was light, and he has to figure out a way to pass the guard of someone stronger than him, and the best thing to do was find a way to scramble to achieve the back.
I always wanted to be in the Hall of Fame, and at that time they were saying that they would put everyone that had 4 world titles into the Hall of Fame. So for me it was essential to achieve my 4th world title. For Rafa, like he had like a huge desire of winning 2 more titles because his division had more competition in terms of records, and was always a huge war between him and Cobrinha.
2008, Rafa lost the semifinals to Cobrinha, and I remember Rafa was pissed off, like he was mad. And then he started figuring out ways like to defeat Cobrinha.
It was Royler first, and then Cobrinha, and then when Cobrinha tied Royler with 4 world titles, they were both in the Hall of Fame. Rafa won 4, and then he won his 5th world title. He said he wanted to do 1 more just to make sure that it would not be easy for the other guys to come back and tie his record.
Rafa, when you don't know him, like he looks like a serious guy, but you know, he joke around a lot, like he makes people laugh.
We were similar because we were raised like together, and we end up falling in love with the same things, but like our personality was very different.
He was a little bit more serious on the spot, and I remember like he didn't like much when we tease him, you know, but Rafa always like he tease you back. Like if you joke with him, he goes 10 times back towards you, you know, and make you feel like, oh, I shouldn't say anything.
I was always a person that wanted to be around a lot of people. I wanted to interact as much as possible.
He's somebody that I see every day, happy doing what he does. He teaches every morning, he's training every day, he's here in the afternoons. It's like he lives here at AOJ, and it's because that's what he loves to do.
Rafa was the opposite in that sense. Like he was always more on his own and like focusing on the things that were important for him. That reflected to the decision of where to place ourselves whenever we started the academy. If we were both trying to do the same things, I feel like we would have way more conflict. It gave us the ability to lead and do the best that we can do without going against each other. And I think that was a very smart decision, and it's working very well. This phase that we're living right now, it's very incredible. Our kids training Jiu-Jitsu and being able to experience everything that we experienced training Jiu-Jitsu, living the Jiu-Jitsu lifestyle. For us, it's really important that our kids are able to grow up in the Jiu-Jitsu lifestyle. The AOJ is doing that in the community, not only for our kids, but for a lot of kids. I can give 100% to achieve my goals, and whenever like that part of my day is done, I'm 100% in to be the father, the husband that I have to be at home. My family will always be the reason why I do everything that I do, and the main motivation for me to continue to push the bar higher and to find new challenges. I feel like Jiu-Jitsu will be the right tool for our kids to achieve the same thing, like grow, learning about respect, and learning to work hard to achieve everything that they want.